Welcome. Καλώς ήρθατε στο Flow Summit. My name is Crist, and I'm here to share with you what I have learned about energy flow, life force flow in all of life through my studies with the shamans in Peru. We will be seeing and taking a look at different technologies and ancient wisdom teachings and what they talk about when they refer to flow. We're going to take a look at yoga and what does yoga tell us about flow, what the ancient rishis, the teachers of yoga, shared about prana, life force. Second, we will talk about shamanism and what the shamans of Peru tell us about life force and how that moves through our whole body and in life and actually around us in every living thing. Third, we'll be talking about the ancient Greek shamans, Heraklitos, Socrates, Hippocrates, and we're going to see what they all talked about, what they shared about, what their view was about flow and energy flow. And fourth, we're also going to tap in to an understanding of what the martial arts and acupuncturists talk about when they mention flow, right? The Taoists who created, again, both martial arts and acupuncture. We'll close our time together by dropping into a deep meditation that comes directly from the shamans of Peru, and it's a meditation of opening sacred space, of inviting the power animals of each direction, Mother Earth and Father Sun and Grandmother Moon, into a space of awakening our consciousness and really, in essence, centering our attention. Through and through, we'll understand a little bit more. We'll come to an understanding of what flow of energy means. And for me, that really means that if I know it, coming to an understanding of what energy flow means automatically allows me to begin to flow the energy in my body and around my body in a very different way. I would like to share a little bit of my personal story in my spiritual path and what really motivated me to travel around the world, to meet and study with yogi masters, to meet and study with the shamans of Peru, and what really motivated me to study Chinese medicine and understand more of their take on life itself. And what really motivated me to enter into Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong. My mother is Greek, and my father is American. We returned to Greece when I was 7 years old. So when I really started becoming aware of the world around me at 7 years old, I found myself in Mitos, in Athens, in my grandmother's home, where essentially I grew up. I love Greece, it's in my heart. I've sailed Greece and I continue to sail when I can visit. And it is truly my country, είναι η πατρίδα μου. And I feel it in so many ways, I feel it deep into my heart and my whole being. In 2003, when I was 39 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that was in both my kidneys and seemed to have spread in my liver and my lungs. And what the doctor said when they first saw the first test results is that this is very bad, this is probably too late that we've caught it, and what I see is that you have 3 months to live. Of course, when I heard that, everything stopped. Every single flow of anything, of my days, of my hours, of my thoughts, everything stopped. I was petrified, I was scared, and to be honest with you, I fell apart. There was a lot of breakdowns that I had, and the first breakdown that I had, and I'm going to say this was really important, was the whole structure of how I felt about life, who I was, what I did, what one is supposed to do in life. how I related to people, all that structure fell apart. And looking back now, 18 years later, cancer-free, I want to say a little bit taller, I want to say a lot happier, and definitely here and alive with a lot of energy flow throughout my whole body and through my whole life in so many ways. I want to say that I'm grateful to all of those who helped me along the way. Those who helped me with Chinese medicine and acupuncture originally, those who helped me through yoga, those who helped me through shamanism, the shamans of Peru, and those who helped me through the Taoist practices of Kung Fu and Tai Chi. I feel blessed. I feel that I have been looked after, guided, and that every step that I took really was the correct step that one by one really brought me through the flow of finding once again my ease, my health, and being engaged fully in life. I'd like to start now just coming back into talking about flow and how that works for all of us. One of the things that, or many of the things that I've come to realize through deep studies in the last 18 years of my odyssey and finding healing for myself, traveling through the United States, through Mexico, through Peru, I've met a lot of shamans, yogis. I met a lot of masters who really helped me come to a deep understanding of how the energy, how life force really works. And one of the things that I really discovered, the essence of what I've discovered through these years, is that all the great technologies or the ancient wisdom studies, again, of yoga in India, of Chinese medicine and martial arts in China, and of shamanism in Peru, as well as the Greek great, I'm going to call them shamans or philosophers, Heraclitus, Socrates, Hippocrates, they all talked about the force that flows, life force that flows through the body and that flows through everything around us in the world. That flow that is in our body, that animates us, that brings us life and spark into our heart, into our eyes, into our words, is the same flow, that energy that flows through the universe and makes the planets spin, makes the whole universe exist together. From the microcosmos of the cells and how a cell is built, to the macrocosmos of all these amazing galaxies and how they're built, we see the same spiraling flow of energy that permeates everything in the same way. Patterns that create life force and a flow of energy that allows for things to evolve, to move, and to exist. I am more than happy to be returning back home, even through a video, and perhaps physically I'll be able to visit soon, and to share with you what I've discovered through this long odyssey that I've been on, that has been blessed with amazing teachers and has been guided by a force and a flow in the unseen world that still allows me to be here today and flow my energy through the flow summit and the flow of internet, the flow of video, and the life force that we are now exchanging together. Through these last 18 years of studying with masters in yoga and masters in shamanism and in Qigong, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, I have created the Jaguar Path, a school of the ancient wisdom and a school of the ancient technologies, a school of yoga, shamanism, and martial arts. So let's take a dive in and see each and every one of these ancient technologies and see what they talk about. I'll start with yoga. Yoga is getting more and more known throughout the whole world, and there's a reason for it. The energy of yoga is flowing and overflowing throughout the whole world. When we take a look, and again I want to say that what I see is that the yogis, the shamans, and the martial artists are essentially talking exactly about the same thing. So when we look at yoga, you know, we may see, oh, I feel really good when I've done yoga, or I feel more relaxed. Or for those of you who may practice yoga for more than 3, 4, or 5 years, you probably most likely will say, well, my life has changed after yoga. And life changes, and the perception of life and how we react and how we act in the world with practicing yoga, because yoga offers us that biggest gift of exactly that, allowing for flow of energy, and even more specifically, for a new direction and a new way of flow of life force within us. When yoga talks about flow of energy, or flow of life force, it refers to it in Sanskrit as prana. Prana is the life force that exists within everything around us, what we breathe, what we feel, what we see. And when we inhale prana, or when we get that prana, that force from what we eat or from what we drink, then that prana, that force now, is called Shakti, personal creative energy. Shakti is flowing within our whole body, allowing us to talk, to see, to move, to live, to engage in life in so many ways. The yogis are telling us that when there is a blockage of energy, when there is a blockage in the flow of life force, of prana within our body, then we begin to feel a dis-ease, or if anything, we already begin to have a different perception of what is happening around us. So if my prana is flowing very slowly or is blocked in some parts of the body, then I am most likely having an experience of being disconnected with what is around me or with whom I'm interacting. When there's a block of energy in some parts of the body, it may be that I'm more prone to be angry or sad or frustrated. But when again I come back and I do my yoga practices on the mat and I open up the channels that this flow of energy runs through the body, and when I find that beautiful free flow of energy, then I come into a place where I can be right here present, willing to help anyone, kind with everyone, with an open heart, and fully engaging in life. So where does this energy flow through, according to the yogis? Well, the beautiful thing is that the same thing that the yogis say is the same thing that the shamans and the masters of Kung Fu and the masters of acupuncture say. When we look at the yogic way, we refer to these inner channels as the nadis. And the nadis, when you translate that word nadi into Greek, it is potami, the river. The rivers of life, the potamia της ζωής. These channels that run through the body are connected. They're called also in English, we refer to them as meridians. And that's maybe the place, and we'll visit this word again when we come to Tai Chi Qigong and to the Chinese masters, and we'll go deeper into the meridians and understanding how they work when we arrive at that point. But in essence, again, what the yogis tell us is that we move around the world with our energy flow within the body, and we interact. When an interaction happens where we feel hurt, or if we have a traumatic experience, then there is a block created in one of the nadis, and in that place, that block itself, we call a samskara. And I want to call it, in shamanism, we call it a traumatic energy imprint. And that samskara is there and is blocking the energy. So at that place where energy is hindered, that is a place where new emotions or emotions of dis-ease are going to rise. So the yogis tell us that we walk around and we're emanating this energy field around us. We're allowing for energy to flow around our body. We're emanating our aura, right? And when we look at the Greek word aura, it is avra. The avra is this, say, kalokirni avra. It's like a wind, like a summer breeze, right? What's the air about someone, around someone? So the aura really is the flow of energy around the body that is telling others who we are, what we like, what we don't like. That is essentially telling the cosmos who we are and what we like and what we want in life. But how do we create this aura? How do we physically actually create an energy field around our body that is emanating and, if you want, influencing and influenced by everything that surrounds? So when we go deeper into yoga, one of the many parts of yoga, because yoga is a really broad field, starting from philosophy to belief system to foods, to breathing exercises, to body exercises, meditation exercises, and more. I'm just going to take one little slice, that we all know when we hear yoga, or if we've gone to a yoga class, what we mostly all experience is yoga asana. It's the movement of the body. Going into warrior one, going into warrior two, dancing warrior, going into tree pose, etc. So what the yogis realized is that they felt, as in seeing, right, the shaman yogis, the seers that could see the energy, would see the energy flowing in the body, or they could see blocks, or see where the energy would stop. So as they could see clearly where blocks were showing up, they started creating the yoga asana system by introducing, again, specific movements and positions of the body that would allow and would encourage, along with the breath, for the energy to flow through the specific meridians, right? And in Greek, meridians is mesimvrini. And we'll come back to the meridians and the importance of why we care about the meridians, or how important they are and how much they really actually define our experience of life itself. So the yogis developed a system, a series of practices, of postures rather I should say, on the yoga mat, where within each posture we're opening 1, 2, or 3, or a set of meridians, allowing for a free flow of energy in order to once again come to the equilibrium where energy is moving freely throughout the whole body, resulting to a beautiful energy field around the body that allows us to be symmetric, expansive, and be able to more engage in life, be able to be more in connection, more connected to our deepest self, and the ability to engage with what is happening outside us and around us. So for yogis, and through the practice of yoga, and if you have a practice of yoga already of a year, 2 years, 5 years, you'll probably already begin to know exactly what I'm talking about. Through the practice of yoga, as time passes, and as the nadis, the mesimvrini, right, the meridians are opening, the more able we are to find the deeper self of who we truly are, and automatically the more able we are to engage further out in life and really make our dreams come true. So when I was invited to Flow Summit, I was really excited. And the first thing that came to mind, to be honest, was Heraklitos. For me, one of the biggest shamans of the world, who wrote exactly the same things another great shaman was writing in China, Lao Tzu, was writing exactly the same things to the word about how energy flows. And Heraklitos said the famous "Ta panda re." I'm excited to dive into it, and to dive into it with you guys in Greece, because we know that this is our heritage, that Heraklitos has really brought forth this understanding of life and how life actually flows. And we've all, in many ways, have grown up with these ideas and the teachings. Hippocrates comes in later and says to us, "Ό,τι κινείται ζει, ό,τι μένει στάσιμο πεθαίνει." So we see again, whatever moves lives, and whatever remains still dies. And we see again the same idea that the yogis have here about flow of energy. If you don't have any energy moving through your meridians, that means you do not have life force running through your body, right? And what flows, the more that energy runs through the meridians free flowing, the more vitality I have, the more ability I have, and the more, basically, the more life I have. So I want to take another turn and go to the next chapter of my life as I practice yoga, and as I was practicing yoga and teaching yoga at a very big yoga center in the United States. But I'm still looking for shamans to help me heal. I found my way down to Peru, and it is there that I met my most beloved teachers, who till today, 16 years later, have become more than my friends, brothers and fathers to me, allies in life, and essentially family. So my first visit to Peru, I met Don Francisco. Don Francisco Flores is a renowned shaman, known throughout the world, mentioned in many books on shamanism, and he is a Hatun Quero. He is a Quero from Hatun Quero village. The Queros really focused on flow of energy. The most important thing they saw as life force and a gift of life was the flow of energy of Pachamama, and the interaction of that energy entering into our body and flowing freely through our rivers once again, through the meridians, Mesimrini. When I met Don Francisco and I said, Don Francisco, I have cancer and I'm dying, can you please help me? He said, can you please heal me? He said, I cannot heal you, but I can teach you how to be a shaman and you can heal yourself. Of course, I was ecstatic. It was the dream of my life to become a shaman, to learn about what is happening in the unseen world of energies. What do shamans, sorcerers see in the world, the seers, right? I agreed, of course, to become his student and immediately started classes, lessons in the mountains, in the sacred valley, down the sacred river Urubamba, or up at different points of beautiful holy villages and ancient sacred Inca sacred sites like Pisac, Machu Picchu, Ollantaytambo, Cusco, and a lot more. As we started, one of the first things that Don Francisco shared with me is, Ray, you are lost. You've lost your flow of energy, you've lost your flow of life force within you, and you're losing it because you do not have a compass. Your direction is not clear. And I could totally understand what he meant, that I felt lost. I didn't even know what I was doing in Peru and why I was there. I was moving around the world just hoping to find someone that would change the doctor's diagnosis, or that was given to me as a death sentence that I had 90 days to live. So I said, what kind of compass? What is the compass? He said to me, your new compass is the chacana. The chacana is the Inca cross, right? A double cross, a cross within a cross with a space, a circle in the middle. And the chacana itself essentially describes the whole cosmology of the Incas and how they viewed reality and how they viewed the relationship between spirit world and this world, how they viewed the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. We dive into the chacana, and as I began to learn more and more as we took a dive into understanding, he essentially started with the most important thing. The idea is to see the four directions of this compass and have the ability, and through rather finding and understanding the four directions, come to find yourself in the center. The chacana is also referred to as the medicine wheel, and if I can get the medicine of the south, the medicine of the west, the north, and the medicine of the east, then I can find myself in the center of the medicine wheel, which is the healed state of being, which is the state where energy flows within and is flowing freely around me. allowing me again to go into my deepest self, giving me again the tools, the clarity, and the discernment to engage fully in life on a whole other level than I used to, and a whole other level that the collective consciousness is usually going about it. In a whole other way of the collective consciousness. Period. So the most important thing is that I've come to realize, and when the shamans began to teach me, is that we need to understand the energies that are permeating the four corners of the earth. When we look at the south, they said, we look at serpent. Serpent teaches us the power animal serpent, right? And serpent teaches us how to shed our skin and let go of the past. Serpent teaches us how to feel close to Mother Earth, connected, as the serpent does, belly to belly with her. When we move to the medicine of the West, we go to Otorongo, the jaguar, the great jaguar. And the jaguar teaches us to have no fear in this world or the next. The jaguar is the great shaman, the one that has absolute sensitivity, that in their paws, that are very gentle and soft, and the one that has absolute strength in their claws. When we move around the compass of the Chakana and we head up to the north, in the north we find Colimbri, the hummingbird. Hummingbird is all about sweetness. It teaches us how to collect the nectar of life, how to fill in our life with beauty, with color and sweetness. It teaches us how to fly backwards, go and heal the past, so then we can move forward to enjoy the life and again the nectar of all the flowers and all the sweetness that life has to offer. And moving around, when we come to the east refers to the condor, and condor is so beautiful and powerful. The condor teaches us how to spiral upward and rise above. And as we rise above, we come to the place where we can see from high above the greater picture of our life. And from that place, we become more able to make correct decisions in our life. To see with clarity, to see with discernment, the accuracy. And the condor teaches us something else equally important with everything we've talked about. The condor teaches us that we're always connected with a spirit. Like the condor always flies wing to wing with a great one. So when we feel that in our heart, we're connected. It's like we're opening our heart fully and our luminous field fully, like the condor opens and spreads his wings. And of course, that place of the Chakana, when I've gone again through the four directions, I've healed these perceptual states, I've healed different parts of myself. And having come to the center, I'm in the center of my heart. I am able now to flow energy through my whole body. I am able to expand my luminous field outwards in a symmetric way, and I'm more able again to engage with life, to make things happen. So yogis and shamans, we could see so far, see the world in a very similar way. Their practices on how to get the energy moving are a little bit different, but they talk about the same energy and they talk about the same flow. And the other place of many, of course, that there are, that we see masters talking about energy flow is martial arts. When we talk about Kung Fu or Tai Chi, we can see the masters of Tai Chi, right, moving the energy. And you can also see as that movement of energy happening, it's interesting to watch, like in the movies, right? We see all these martial arts movies. You can see the two masters that are going around each other and they're very slowly moving, but no one's doing anything. It's just like they keep on just slowly. And what are they really looking at? Why are they not, fighting, but they just take all this time to look at each other, to walk slowly around each other? Because what they're really looking at is the flow of energy. And when they see the energy flowing and their whole luminous field is symmetric and expansive, that means that there is no way they can come in. There's no kick or punch that can enter into the sphere. And what they're both looking at as they're moving slowly is, can I see an opening? Is there a second that concentration is going to stop, where thought is going to create a pause in their energy field and take that moment to move right in? So Tai Chi and Kung Fu are essentially the same coin, the two sides of the same coin. Tai Chi is yin, is where the flow of energy is happening with sweetness, with flow, it's more feminine. And Kung Fu is the more yang, when energy is moving faster, the more masculine, powerful way of moving. So through Tai Chi, what essentially we're doing is yoga, is shamanic work. We're moving the energy, and through every moment of Tai Chi, we're creating a free flow of energy through the body, allowing for us to once again find the homeostasis, the balance of life force flow within our body. We see all these ancient arts, and in essence they're sciences. They're studies of the human body and how it works, from the physiology to psychology, but it moves throughout all the way to astrology. How do the meridians of the sky, when we're born, when we come into Tai Chi, we see that they tell us when we are born, and when we come into the practices of acupuncture, the acupuncturists tell us that the moment we are born, the placement of the stars in the meridians of the sky are directly imprinted in the meridians of the body, and create that predisposition of how does the energy flow through each one of our meridians, and how does that predispose us with our personality or the way we move in life, what we like, what we don't like. And as we receive that at birth, and we move with it, if you want, with these predispositions, or what we call our personality, we may be lucky to discover one of these amazing sciences and bring them as a practice in our everyday life. For those of us who've discovered yoga and practice yoga, we see that it just betters life. It helps our personality, it helps us expand, it helps us center ourselves. With shamanism, we could clear out old trauma and things that made us really hurt or really angry or really filled with anxiety or fear. We clear those out. Or with acupuncture, the same. Using the needles, we can redirect the energy flow of the meridians to clear out the trauma. And the same thing again with the martial arts, that Tai Chi, Qigong, or Kung Fu. We open those meridians, we have a free flow, and while we're still our own self, we still own our personality, we are in a place where we're very expanded beyond our personality. Well, again, we're more centered and more able. We can come deeper to who we truly are in a very healthy body, and we can think in a very healthy way, so we can directly engage with life in a whole other level, right? And that's one more time where we find the amazing Greeks and the ancient Greek sciences, where we say nous iyi and somati iyi, right? Healthy mind in healthy body. I would like to close by saying, notice your breath. One of the common characteristics that I find in all these healing arts and these sciences that I study and teach is breath. The common denominator in all of life is breath. Breath exercises exist in yoga, in shamanism, and in Tai Chi. The consciousness and consciously inhaling and bringing that life force to flow through our body is one of the most important elements of life, and thus it's one of the most important elements and common to these technologies as a way to really get life force flowing through the body and to find that, again, balance and place in the body. And here I'd like to quote Kabir, an amazing and beautiful Sufi poet, and again that's another technology, Sufism, where we have the swirling dervishes, right, that swirl like the galaxies and connect with all the galaxies, like swirl like atoms, swirl like the earth around the sun, right? And the beautiful poetry that comes out of their system, where Kabir says, "Through my breath I extract God." And in any name you want, and any religion, in all religions, the essence is what we call God, and with any name and any religion, is life force itself, and is the flow of energy, tapadari, everything is constantly moving. And when we flow in balance with that, when we flow with the river down the stream, everything in life flows wonderfully. When we're not aware and we don't have the practices of any of these practices, yoga or tai chi or shamanic practices and ceremonies, what we end up many times when we're locked in our head, we end up trying to swim upriver, and there is no flow upriver. Life becomes harder, life becomes a burden, life becomes dis-ease. And when our meridians are blocked and the flow is blocked, dis-ease begins to enter, and may, if it stays as a blocked energy for a very long time, it will manifest itself in the physical body, like anything from a cold and fever to cancer or an accident. When I am free-flowing and the energy is running through my meridians, I can be my true deep self, who I am. I can remember why I'm here, what I love about this earth and this life, what I've come here for. And at the same time, when I'm expressing that part, the deepest part of who I am and my full potential, I am also amazingly able to engage in life and make things happen. I can free flow with the rest of all life. What all these masters of energy flow talk about, the yogis, the shamans, the martial artists, and acupuncturists, and again, a lot more schools, all the mystical schools, really are studying this. They all study the body and the actual matter, right? It's not philosophical, it's physical. The energy and the air that we breathe is physical and real. I would like to lead us through a meditation of the Chakana, and allow yourself to drop in this meditation. If you want to take notes to have it, you can practice it yourself. An amazing way to open sacred space, an amazing way to come back to your center and to feel into this meditation, a way to prepare yourself for a new day coming, or if you're going to an important meeting, something's happening that is really important to your life, it is important to center yourself, and also, according to the shamans, to bring in your allies. You can bring my serpent ally, my jaguar, and my hummingbird, and my condor. So let's go through this meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and bring your attention inward. Take a moment and settle. Feel your sits bones rooting through your seat. Gently scoop your tailbone and press down through both sits bones. And invite your navel in towards the spine. As you invite your navel in towards the spine, feel you're inhaling and floating your ribcage up and away from the pelvic floor. Tuck your chin back and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Invite the tip of your tongue to your upper palate and a gentle smile at the edges of your lips and the edges of your eyes. If you wish to and you haven't yet, inhale and invite your hands to your heart. Take a moment and notice your breath. As you flare out your nostrils, inhale and invite a stream of prana, of life force, right through the center core of your body all the way to your pelvic bowl. Exhale, inviting the navel in, floating the ribcage, tucking the chin. Feel you're exhaling up through the crown of your head. Inhale again. And feel with this inhalation that we're opening the space to the south. Thank you, Amaru, great serpent, for being here with us, for teaching us how to shed our skin and let go of the past. Thank you, beloved serpent, for allowing me, for allowing us to feel connected with Pachamama, with Mother Earth, as you're always connected with her, belly to belly with her. Thank you for allowing us to feel that in our body. Thank you, serpent. And to the winds of the west, great Otorongo Jaguar, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for teaching us how to move with no fear in this world or the next. We bow to you for the gift that you give us of becoming more sensitive and attuned to energy. That sensitivity that you have in your pause. Thank you for giving us amazing strength, that strength that you have in your claws. And to the winds of the north, sweet colimbri, hummingbird, be here with us. Thank you for being here with us and for allowing us to feel the nectar of life, for teaching us and sharing with us all these practices, the sciences, methodologies, and technologies that allow us to go in the past, heal our past in order to open the channels of our life force, our meridians, our rivers within, and allowing us to find once again that flow of sweetness within us. And the winds of the east, great condor, condora. Thank you, great condor, for teaching us how to spiral upward, to rise high above, and from high above see the greater picture of our life, and from there make better informed decisions. Feeling that you're sitting right in the center of this medicine wheel of the Chakana, surrounded by your allies in the 4 directions. Feel your next inhalation expand your heart and your rib cage, filling up your rib cage. Exhaling, releasing anything that doesn't work for your flow. And then again, inhale and feel your heart expanding outside your body, filling up the 4 directions with the blessings and the guidance of the serpent, the jaguar, the hummingbird, and the condor. One more breath, inhale, feel that breath flowing right through the center core of your body all the way to your perineum, and invite your hands to your heart, the center of this sacred space, the center of the Chakana, the center from where you move and where you see the world, from where you live, the center of your heart, the center of yourself, and from where you engage with everything and everyone around you throughout the day. Inhale. As you exhale, bow your chin to your heart and thank yourself for everything that you do. Thank yourself for being at the summit flow. Thank yourself for the practices that you do that allow your flow of energy to move. And if you wish to, only if you wish to, you can bow deeper to any god or goddess, saint, avatar, angel, or archangel. And gently inhale and open your eyes. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ όλους που έχετε έρθει στο Flow Summit. Namaste, thank you very much.